Co-host of the Art Connection of East Texas, Nita Fran Ward and Sandy Newton.
Good morning, good morning. Well, we're going to have to get that announcement changed because Sandy Newton's no longer here. Sandy has moved to Houston, and so the way that I'm going to resolve this is Nita Fran Ward with Art Connection, and the way we've decided to resolve this is we're going to have guest co-host each week, sometimes repeating that, and we've already filled up all the way through November. And I've sent out this email to all these people, friends, and they said, yes, I want to do that. So my guest co-host today is a very special person to me. Good morning, Jacob Law.
Good morning.
You've been here a lot.
I have.
You have, and you are also co-owner of Stonewater Roofing.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're our lead host, and so it was very appropriate for you to be here.
Well, I've been here a couple of times, and you've sat by yourself, and I'm glad you have a partner today. And
Yes,
thank you.
I do.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to have you here because I know you well enough to know, and he did his research. I mean, he's already researched Destiny. So, my goodness, how about that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm impressed.
We've got some amazing guests on today.
Yes,
too.
we do. Okay, I'll tell you what the schedule's going to be. In the studio, I have with me a young lady who's 24 years old. Her name is Destiny Ayala. Destiny has written a 500-page novel. It is pretty formidable for anyone, much less a child. And I consider you a child if you started this at 21. But
She considers me a child, too. It's okay.
Okay, Destiny. Let's talk about your destiny. You started at what age writing?
Really, I was probably around 15, I think, when I first started just like playing around with writing. Because for me, it started when I was a freshman in high school. And I was not really in a good place mentally, to be honest with you. And my friends were like, you should find something in a creative way that'll help you like express the feelings you're going through. And so at the time, there's this app called Wattpad. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But basically, it's just an app that you can sign up for free and just write whatever and post it on there for anybody to read. And so I was on there a lot reading people's work and everything, and I was like,
I can do this.
yeah, like, why not? I'd try something like this, And so I just started writing on there, and I didn't, have in mind, I want a lot of people to read this. I was just like, I'm here to just express myself. I don't care who reads it or whatever.
You were just pouring out your heart.
Pretty much, yes. And so I did that, and then it ended up getting a lot of reads, actually, like almost 70,000 reads.
Wow.
So,
And I'll tell you, writing is cathartic.
It is, yes.
And so it helps us to even know ourselves because we have to put into words our feelings.
Exactly.
And seeing that word and making that word and speaking that word is very powerful.
It is, because it was almost like using the characters to reenact the things I was feeling or trying to express but couldn't express, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And then a lot of people messaged me directly or left me comments like, oh, I fully relate to this, I appreciate you writing this, I didn't know how to express it in a way that you do, kind of thing. And so it's like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool, getting to connect with all these different people who feel the same way I do and making friends through it. And then I finished it, and I had a lot of people ask me, we need another one. So I wrote another one. They're like, we need a third one. I was like, okay. So I wrote a third one and all that. So it's just really fun. And then it took me out of the bad place I was in mentally because it gave me something to focus on.
And to address that, puberty is a hard place.
It is.
It is a hard place.
High school is a very hard
junior
place.
high and high school.
It is.
And I can relate to that very much so.
And back to the cookie cutter.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't fall into the certain group or groups, then you really get sometimes left on the outside. And you found another avenue to find like-minded people in your group. And that's awesome.
Yes.
Yes, and
refreshing.
that's very important because it goes back to a support system and being able to communicate so well. That's one of the good things that the Internet has done for us.
Oh, yes.
Agreed. Yes, for sure.
Okay, so you did this fan fiction online, and then at age 21 you had this forming in your mind about these characters in this book called Moondust.
Yes.
I'm not so interested. I'm interested in the Moondust book. I'm more interested in the girl that created it. Knowing how this came about in your mind, because there are many people out there who want to be authors. They want to write. They don't know how to get started. They don't know where to go once they write something. Is it worthy? Am I going to be able to get it published? If I don't get it published, I've wasted my time. All of those things rattling around in their heads. Mm-hmm. So you didn't let that stop you. Let's talk about the destiny that made that happen.
Okay.
You go ahead and talk about you.
So I just got the idea in my head, like, you know, I feel like a lot of people in this life, they have ideas and dreams of things that they want to do, but they just don't do it. And I've met many people where I've seen, like, just in their eyes how they just feel like they failed themselves. I can just, like, see it and feel it off of them. And I was like, I don't want to end up, you know, older in my life and look back on my younger days like, man, I wasted it.
Yeah.
I really squandered it not doing what I could have done back then, you know.
And to realize that at such a young age gives you such a head start, you know. So many people closer to my age are starting to realize that now. And you've got 12 plus years on that, and that is
It's
amazing.
true. It is true, because many times about 35 to 40, we look back and say, okay, half my life's gone. Now what?
We've talked about it many times that
Yes.
a lot of us look around in the society and things going on and worry about our youth and all, but this show in general has really brought, and some of the community things that we do here in Tyler has really given me more hope than the national news attention that you might see. We've got
Absolutely.
some amazing young people.
Yes, we do. Okay, go ahead. So you did this on your computer,
Yes.
I'm assuming.
On my laptop, yes.
500 pages.
Yes.
Developing characters, developing a theme, carrying that through. And Jacob, you speak to you read a little bit about it. You speak to the theme of it, the book.
Well, and Destiny was letting us know, I mean, in all technicality, that you consider it fan fiction, but you said there's a lot more to it than that. You've got the mystery, you've got a little bit of the romance, and it's kind of become, it is your style and your theme, and all of that
Exactly.
came from your brain into this book, and it's not just a short book, and I look forward to reading it. I'm going to have Chase read it with me. We like to do that at the same time, because then we can talk about it later.
I think your daughter would enjoy
She
it.
would. She
Yes.
really would.
Was there a target audience when you did it? Did you do it thinking about young people reading it?
No, I wrote it the same way I wrote my first book. I just had this idea, and like you were saying earlier before we went on air, about a burning passion to just do it. I felt like I just had to do it. And so I just did it without thinking about, like, okay, who's going to read this? Who do I want this to reach? I was like, it'll reach the right people.
How long did it take you?
To write it, probably close to a year.
So, in this book, when the person that you were when you started it, did the person come out of that book, you, a bit different?
Of course. You know,
Talk about that.
Because I, like, kind of like how I was saying earlier with the characters and writing them, like, of course, I see them as, like, personifications of either, like, aspects of myself, experiences I've been through, or other people in my life. And so writing it, sometimes I'll just kind of look back, reread it, and be like, oh, okay, like, that's what I was trying to express or go through at the time, but I couldn't see it until then, kind of thing. So it goes back to what you're saying about writing being cathartic. And because I feel like it gives me, like, a deeper insight to the way I think and express myself and operate through life and everything like that. So
What's your next plan?
for now, just keep living life, because
Do you have another book in mind, or do you want to write a sequel?
I already have started the sequel.
Have you really?
wow.
Oh, cool. Yay. That's wonderful.
Give us real quick, Destiny, just what would you say the synopsis first page of your book is, as far as the adventure that's inside?
I could read the back cover.
Go right ahead.
Actually. So it says, in a world where everyone has special abilities which they could once use without fear, reality transformed. Countries worldwide decided to become united under one government, and alongside that, create some devastating change. Now all the natural talents everyone was born with were twisted into being the most deadly disease in human history, a disease that could be cured.
Okay, that's as far as we can go. Thank you for this. I've got to take a break. I'm already 6 minutes over. I was fascinated by this. When you get this sequel going and you're ready to print it, would you call me and let's revisit this?
Definitely.
Can we do that?
Yes, for sure.
And thank you, Dad, for being the supportive father that you are, because you've allowed this. You opened that door for her and allowed her to do
to
this.
the entire community.
Thank you so much.
Of
We're going to
course.
take a break, and I will see you later.
All right, thank you for
Bye.
having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.